It's T here. Thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. This video is very specific. Today I'm going to teach you how to put on makeup and apply makeup that will stay in place for oily skin and for my oily girls. Of course, my drier girls can be a part of this as well too. Some of us really want full coverage. If you are oily and you're looking for tips, tricks, and techniques on how to get this makeup look and to keep your oil at bay, then keep on watching. Right now, I have nothing on my face. I just washed my face, but I'm going to show you how I prep my skin. So, first up, my face is clean, but I always like a good little exfoliator. I'm currently using the Dr. Dennis Gross. This is the 2% BHA breakout solution. As you see, I am an oily, acne prone, blemish skin girl. So if you're anything like me or you have the same type of skin like me, it's really good just to have a exfoliator and something that targets your acne and your breakout. It could be from like hormonal, diet, or just simply stress or that time of the year. I also, because I'm oily, I make sure that I run this over my brows just to get rid of, because I'm oily everywhere. There's not a place that I'm not oily. It's really just good to make sure that you're targeting all that. And there's an area like right by the ear here that we always forget. Washing my face, I know this is like kind of disgusting, but the pad, it's not clean. It's like slightly dirty. It has like a little bit of dirt and like residue and everything in it still. I just want to make sure that as an oily girl, after you've exfoliated or put a toner that works best for you, it doesn't have to be this one. It could be a different, like a more like oily combination toner just to help with your pores and excess oil. I would prep my skin with serums. Don't skip serums and moisturizers. So let me grab a toner that I'm currently using right now. So I use 2 toners and I'm very specific with it. I know that it's probably excessive, but one toner that I'm using is the green tea ceramide milk. This is more like an essence, but I'm just gonna call it toner. It's like a milky toner for you, and it's very liquidy, and I just pat it on my face. This just helps hydrate my face, my skin. I bring it up underneath my eyes as well, and then I bring it over my forehead just to make sure, and then whatever is left over, I'll just pop them on my neck, because we should take care of our neck as well too. So, and then my hands, like skincare is just good everywhere. It doesn't have to be just your face, so any excess I would put it down my neck and my hands. So this is the green tea. It just helps calm my skin down and any redness without being too irritating after exfoliating my face. And then I know this is very excessive, but I also use the half and half Prequel. This is also a milky toner. It's just thicker than the other one, so I'll just show you the consistency of it. So this is the consistency of that versus the other one that you saw previously. It's very thin, and what I do with this is I put it underneath my eyes. My eyes are really dry, so I'm just making sure that I just put this thick milky toner right underneath my eyes by the eye bags, and then I'm just gonna let it sit there. And I know you guys are like, why T? Why are we letting it sit there? It's just because underneath the eyes are delicate. They are very dehydrated. I'm pretty sure you guys can attest that underneath your eyes, there's not a lot of oils produced there. So putting it underneath the eyes, it will rehydrate it, and your concealer will look so dang good right after. So we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes. in the meantime, while this is sitting, we're gonna make use of our time. I'm gonna put on a lip balm, lip mask. This one I'm using is from the, okay, I'm gonna butcher this, so I'm not gonna say it, but I will link it down in the comment section below. This is in a mint flavor, and I really like the applicator a lot. All right, so now that our lips are taken care of, I'm going to do my brows. Before I do my brows, I'm gonna go back in with the compact on the other side, the one that we didn't like wipe all over our face. I'm going to wipe it one more time just to make sure that they are free of any of the toner that I just splashed on my face. And I'm gonna let that dry down a little bit. Okay, this is gonna be very excessive, but for the oily girls, I usually like a more creamier brow product, but let's just say you're like super oily and you don't want your brows to just slip right off. I do recommend getting a more drier product. Anastasia Beverly Hills makes really good brow products. This is the Brow Wiz. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use a drier formula that I do like and appreciate, but usually it would be my Victoria Beckham. Like, this always stays on my eyes. It's great. It's fantastic. The only thing is that for the oilier girl, this might not satisfy you and do the things. For the oilier girls, this might not be what you need. You're gonna feel like it's gonna slip and slide a little bit, and your oils might like break it up a little bit. I just simply like it because it's easier, but I do have to let you guys know that if you like produce a lot of oil, it might rub off in some areas. So to start off, I'm gonna brush my brow hairs up and just make sure that all the excess like products, anything that we don't want to be on the brows while we're applying it, is very clear. So let me just do my brows really quickly just so that we get through this, but you guys get the gist. Brush it, getting all the oils off. So let me just do the brows really quickly. We're just gonna speed through this. Oh, and also I'm going to be using a brow pen to draw in the little hairs and strokes. Brow pen like this will really keep your brows into place because it's a marker, a type of product that it will just grip onto your brow hairs and the brow product just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. All right, now that we have everything down for our brows, let's target the eyes. I know every single oily gal has gone through this, and even like the non-oilier gals, your eyelids produce oil. And if your eyelids don't produce oil, you can skip this step. It's totally fine. But even if you don't have oily eyelids, this would be a good step to just base and prep your eyes. Now you could use concealer if you're a little bit drier and not as oily. But for the oily gals, you cannot skip this step, is a shadow primer. So with a shadow primer that I find that is super, that will stay in place, that will do the things that you need it to do. And you guys know this, I use this all the time. It's nothing new, but this is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes. This is the best in the market right now. I mentioned this previously. If you used to use the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, or the paint pot in Painterly or Soft Ochre, this reminds me of Painterly, and the other shade Biss reminds me of Soft Ochre. So this is a great, this is a very good stay put. It primes your eyes, it keeps your shadow in place, but also because of the formula and consistency of this, it's very moussey. I do want to let you know, and it dries fast. So I do recommend putting it on and working on like one eye at a time. Otherwise, it dries pretty fast. It's like a budge proof type of primer. So other side, again, making sure that it evens out my eyes while giving my eyes a base. For eyeshadow, I want to make sure that this is fun, this is easy to replicate. So I'm gonna keep the eyes really simple. So I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes. This is the neutrals. This is more of like a gray tone type of shadow palette. It's more cool tone, pretty much is what I was trying to say. I'm just going to do my eyeshadow really quickly, and I'll come back and prep you guys on the rest of the face. All right, so to keep this a little bit more simple, if you are looking for a eyeliner that's budge proof, that will do its job, I recommend this Urban Decay 24-hour liquid stick. This is in the shade Brown Noise. This is more of a kohl liner. Now, I like this because it's really easy, very glidable, glides on nicely, but also it's so budge proof. So let me line this and I'll show you guys how to make it even more budge proof if you're looking to do a eyeliner and you have oily eyelids, oily eyes, oily skin, and you're like, hey, I don't want to do this because it might slip off my eyes. Then just follow along. This is such an easy eyeliner. Like, it's very beginner friendly. Okay. So now that we've lined this, before we continue, I wanted to show you guys a step that will make this budge proof. I usually go in with like a angle brush or a flat definer brush. So today I'm going to go in with an angle brush. I'm going to go in with a shade that is dark and very similar to this eyeshadow. And what I'm going to do is start stamping this on where I drew the line and smudge it out a little bit. Don't worry about this right now. We'll clean that up in just a second. It's okay to be a little bit messy. So you're just gonna stamp the shadow onto this. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other eye. Drawing this line. I'm going to put on eyelid tape and fix this eye because this eye is always so questionable. All right, I'm just gonna interrupt in the middle of this video to say that if you like more of my content, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave it down in the comment if you have oily skin like this and if this helped, and for future videos as well too. You may resume. Okay, I have put on eyelid tape and I've done my eyeliner, etc. Now next step would be lashes. So you at this stage can decide if you want to put on lash like falsies, or you're going to put on like some mascara. So for us oily girls, like, just find a lash mascara that is not too flaky or not flaking or smudging. Also for me, I gear towards like tubing mascaras. I also gear towards waterproof mascara. That's where you're gonna find a lot of like, not like pretty much mascaras that won't like just run on this lower eye just simply because like you're oily, etc., and it won't touch the top of your lid and transfer. So I'm gonna show you a couple of mascaras. So these three mascaras are my favorite, and I'm gonna narrow the reason why. This one, the Judy Doll Curling Iron Mascara, I don't think I've used this on this channel, but maybe but I used this way before this channel, and this is my holy grail. It's extremely hard to come out. Like when you wash your face, etc., it doesn't flake, it doesn't transfer, and it holds the curls so well. I'm gonna actually showcase this one because I haven't used this one in a while, but just know that the L'Oreal Extensionist mascara is just as good. It doesn't flake, it doesn't transfer. So what I usually do with this specific mascara, and it has like the craziest wand ever that I'll show you guys in just a second, but first up, I wanted to just curl my lashes like so. So now that my lashes are curled, I'm gonna go in with the Judy Doll Iron Mascara. This is like super cool. I don't know what it is about this technology, but it keeps my lashes up and it just works for me and it just stays put. So I'll just show you guys. I'm just gonna apply it, wiggle it like so. This is a Korean, and I find that it holds my lashes up, and I usually hit this at the base really hard, and you already could see the lashes coming out to play. It gives me like the most like really natural, but it holds my lashes. So if you have stubborn lashes like I do, this is a really good solution to keeping your lashes just standing straight. Like one layer, and it's just super natural. It just makes your lashes stick up straight. That's the whole purpose of this, and it doesn't transfer. It holds the curl base so it doesn't droop and drop down. Like you can just see it's like already just stuck. Oops. Stuck up like that. I'm gonna curl the other side as well and do the same side. Now I'm not using this mascara for like volume or anything like that. I'm solely using it because of the formula being like super budge proof and also holds my lashes up and keeps them very curled. Righty. So let's get to the complexion. How do we make our complexion last a little bit longer for the oily girls? Now, for the oily girls, I am pretty sure we're gonna need to powder, but if we can just eliminate the need to touch up all the time, so we want our makeup to stay like fresh and nice for as long as possible. So first up, because we already prepped our skin, we don't need to prep. This is the perfect time if you have a primer that you usually use. This would be a perfect time to use it. I'm not a primer girl that much. Like I feel like this is enough for me. Otherwise it ends up being like too much for my skin. But if I were to use something, I would use like a mattifying primer at this stage just to be around my T-zone, etc. So I'm actually going to show you guys from like drugstore pricing to high end that I find that works for me. Of course, you need to try this out yourself, but I am almost certain if you have oily skin, and I'm very oily, like oily, breakout, clogged pores, you name it. So for the drugstore, these are the two very affordable foundation that I really like and enjoy. It's very full coverage. Now for the Sephora Best Skin Ever, I have not worn this for 16 hours like it's claimed, but just when you're applying it, it's very mattifying. It's so nice on your skin. Like the oily girls, if you know, you know. Once you apply that foundation on and you feel it mattifying, that is going to stay for some time. Same with the NYX Professional Makeup. I'm in the shade 15 Buff. Oh, I forgot to mention. In the Sephora one, I'm in the shade 16-0 for olive, but it's not really olive. It's not really olive at all. It's a little bit yellow. Same with this. This is buff. It's supposed to be neutral. It's not neutral. And I'll just show you. So for the two products, the Sephora one and the NARS, you will see that it's thick. It's not runny, and that is a sign for the foundation to stay. Like the NARS one is moving just a touch just because of gravity, but the Sephora one is not moving at all whatsoever. Like this is gonna be very budge proof. So I'm showing that to you. I also have two higher end, more luxurious that I don't use super often on this channel because they're very expensive. And like sometimes I'm not doing a full coverage, like full face. I've been really loving like a serum more, but these two are no fails. Like the Anastasia Impeccable foundation, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about it. It's amazing. And this is the Prada Reveal Skin. It has sunscreen, it's very mattifying, it's super good. Now for me, I didn't buy the one with like they're in like the original packaging. I got the refill because I was saving 20 bucks. But this is like really amazing, and I use this for very special occasion. It just makes my skin look so good. But I just wanted to pump this out so you guys can see the consistency of both of these. The Prada one, in my opinion, out of all this, the Prada one is the liquidiest, and it reminds me of the NYX one, but the Anastasia Beverly Hill one is very comparable to the Sephora one, in my opinion. As you can see, the Prada one is already running. So for the purpose of this video, I want to keep it a little bit more affordable for some of you guys, but just know if you have the Anastasia Impeccable Skin, that's a great one. Same with the Prada. If you want to splurge, you will not be disappointed with the formula for this. So let me just shake up this Sephora Better Skin. Now I got this during the VIB sale, so this was even cheaper. I think it's like $18 plus 20%. It ended up being like 14 bucks or something. I'm not mathing right now, but if you know, tell me. Let me know. What is the percentage discount for this? I think it's 14, but you can correct me. So I'm just gonna put this on very thin layer. I'm just gonna make sure that I pat it in certain areas and buff it out in certain areas, and making sure, and this is very full coverage. Like as you can see, that covered pretty much everything, and you can see it dry down in real time. So you'll feel this like dry down, you'll feel it mattify, you'll see it mattify and cover you at the same time. Again, the product is a little bit on the thicker side, so if you want like not a lot, just take a little bit, pat it out in your foundation brush, and then do a quick little stripe right here and anywhere that you want coverage, and then start patting it out. And for me, even though I'm very oily, I still want a little bit of hydration underneath, because if you're like sucking all the oil out, like you didn't prep your skin prior to this, you didn't do any moisturizer, it's gonna make your skin produce even more oil, if I'm making any sense. It's just like when you're stripping a lot, it'll like overcompensate to overproduce in certain areas. So now that we have the foundation down, I still have a little glow and radiant like peeking through underneath, which is what I really like and enjoy. This is simply just like a healthy, natural glow from my skincare and skin prep. Now I'm gonna go in with bronzer at this stage. For me, bronzing, if you were to tell me like 5-10 years ago that I would be using liquid bronzer underneath of powder, I would be like, get away from me. I'm not gonna put any cream products beside my foundation. Like I was locking everything in. Like 2026 was like the baking, mattifying, everything was matte era. If you remember that, let me know. But now we're in this like matte but dewy, glowy, healthy skin vibe. So let me go over a couple of bronzing sticks really quickly. All right, so I have 3 I have 3 types of bronzer. This one I've been really loving, but this is a little bit newer. This is more of like a glowy bronzer, very natural, nothing too thick. Like, it's very easy, beginner friendly to blend out. I also have mentioned this in my January favorite. This is the Natasha Denona High Sculpt. I was gonna say High Glam again. This is more of like pump out in your palette, and you've seen me use these 2 products quite a lot, so I won't be using these 2 products, but just know this is like my favorite as of right now, both stick and both liquid. There is a product that is very unique for me. It's more of a stain. This is a bronzing contour stain. This is from Sachu Beauty, and this is such like a different concept. It's very similar to like the Charlotte Tilbury wand type of style. So, you know, like you twist it up or you squeeze it, etc. So this is very similar, but this stays and lasts all day. I say the same for the blush as well too. So I've tried the blush before. So for the oily girl, this is what I recommend. So I'm just gonna make sure that we put this in the areas that we usually bronze. So I'm gonna do one side at a time just for you guys to see the consistency and the texture. This does dry down, and once it dries down, it's like, it's pretty much set in stone. So I would maneuver it, and because this product dries down and stays in place, I always want to do like one side at a time just to make sure that I have enough blending time before it actually sets. This sets before you even set it, so it's gonna be very long lasting, and the color is really nice. So I'm just gonna make sure I blend this up, there's no harsh lines, and making sure it looks very flawless. Sure that it's very buffed out and very seamless. Okay, so one side is already on, as you can see. It's such a nice like bronzer. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, so I'm just gonna map out my cheekbones and my forehead so that I can blend the same on the other side. So same blending process. All right. So now that we're all blended out, I'm just gonna take a couple more dots. And then I also run a little bit on the sides of my nose. Of course, cannot leave the nose out. I'm making sure that we blend sides of the nose into the eye socket. Again, this is gonna be very long lasting for you oily girls. Let's get into cream blush. This could be a very slippery slope at this stage. So a lot of blushes are very balmy, and I feel like as long as you set that blush down, you should be fine. So I'm gonna recommend a couple of blushes that I feel like stays all day. And also, to be very fair, blush is always the first. Blush and highlighter always like falls off the face first. I'm gonna be very genuinely honest with you that the blush always rubs off. So by the end of the day, is it gonna be the same exact color? Especially in the cheek area where you're like oily a lot more, it's going to rub off very fast. And also, this is a higher area. Same with the nose. Like, these are higher like points on your face that you touch, you rub, you do different things. Like I always am scratching my nose. I'm always like really itchy. I have like major allergies. Now, we can use much more like more like oily sweat proof type blushes that will keep it staying on our cheeks. So I have a few tips and tricks for you, and a few products that I find that it will work for what you guys are looking for. So I wanted to go over a couple blushes that really is like high quality. One is from Rare Beauty. This is more of a liquid blush, and you guys have already seen this in my January favorite. But also Westman Atelier's, this is more of a stick formula. So this is really good. This is the shade Petal. And then this is the shade Pop It. So this is more of a pink shade. I'm actually going to just, because I have a neutral base right now, I'm going to play with colors today. I'm going to do something less like neutral and subtle. So these two I'm going to put it aside, but just know that these will give you exactly what you are looking for, and it's going to stay for quite some time on your face. And so for me, the Westman Atelier blushes, it's in like a stick form. Also, I never really go through this like all in full. So I bought like a more trial size one. So I'm just gonna swipe this over my face. It's very pigmented, so fair warning right now. And I'm just gonna take this and blend her out and pat and blend and pat. It's so easy to blend, as you can see, like right there. It just blends like a charm. I blend it to the back of my temple, over my nose, like so. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And for people, for you guys, whoever is uncomfortable with just putting the stick directly on your face, just like I did, don't be scared. It still blends out. You can just twist this up, take your brush, and just run it on your brush like so. And then take the rest of it and just start putting it on your face and blending it out like so. I'm going to just blend this out. We're going blush blindness hardcore right now. And again, I'm gonna run this over my nose like so. Run it over my nose and making sure this is over the cheeks. And it's just blending for me. Also, it's okay if you are a little bit overboard with the blush right now. We're gonna go back in just a second because we still have concealer. So let me go into concealer really quickly. This will not look as crazy, but it just want you guys see, it's so flush and so pretty on the face. This is everything you need in a concealer. So before it was the Tarte Shape Tape. Now is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, in my opinion. This is a little bit thinner. It's a little bit more, like, for me, it's not as thick. Like, if you were telling me to wear the Tarte Shape Tape one now, I would tell you no way. My eyes, like, as I'm aging, cannot handle that anymore. And if you know anything about, like, the Estee Lauder Double Wear, also, I heard they are getting reformulated, so sad. Whatever is in there that made it stay for decades might not even be there anymore. So let's go into the powder really quickly. The powders that I recommend, both higher end and drugstore, I have to give it to the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. I'm pretty sure a lot of the oilier girls would agree with me that this powder is sent from Huda for our oily girls. Like, this powder is amazing. But also for us oily girls that cannot afford the Huda Beauty price tag, I got you. There's one in the drugstore called the L'Oreal Infallible Blur-Fection. I have it in the yellow and the pink one. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen me use this gazillions of times. I also have the same type of shade in the Huda Beauty, so like a more peachy and a more pinkier one. I've been really loving the pinky ones to set my face down. So for this video, I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty one, but just know, and you guys have seen me, it's not like price tag or anything. These are just as good. I'm just feeling a little bit more luxe with the Huda Beauty today. But you guys know that this is just as good, just as, you know, that holds my oils at bay. So let me just pat out all of the excess, and then I'm going to actually, before I go in with a brush, I'm actually going to go in with a puff. And this is not the first time that you guys have seen me do this type of method and technique. I'm going to take a little bit on the puff and just lightly pat this into my skin and anywhere else that I get oily, which is my T-zone and my forehead. So this is just going to be a light pat of powder. And I do that just because my concealer, everything, my complexion is still very tacky, and I just don't want for me to go in with like a powder like this later with a brush and for it to stick in little spots. So I'm just going to take a brush and like really stamp it into the areas that I get the most oily, which is around my lip and my nose, the side of my nose, and on my nose directly. Same with the other eye. Then also my chin. So now that we're extremely matte, I want to go in and set the bronzer. The bronzer doesn't really need setting, but just for everyone, for the purpose of this video, if you want like foolproof, this ain't going anywhere, nowhere, set the bronzer with a powder bronzer. I'm just gonna go in with my Dior. This is just a matte bronzer. You guys have seen it and me use it a ton of times. So this is just a matte bronzer that I just would use to set everything down where I place the bronzer, and this will just help it last a lot longer. I'm gonna run it on my nose just so you guys know for cohesiveness, like so. Now that this is all set down, we're also gonna set our blush. I'm going to keep the blush a little bit more mattifying at the stage, even though we see a little bit glow, just simply because we're gonna put a highlighter on top. So for more of a matte blush, and this is super blurring for me in my opinion, this is the Tower 28. This is the Long Beach Ice Tea blush. It's such like a natural but mattifying blush, and I really love it. I'm just gonna use this just to set and just making sure that my Westman Atelier one is not going anywhere, which it won't go anywhere anyway, but just for us, for the purpose of this video, like usually the Westman Atelier one would just be fine. Like you don't need to layer more on this, but for the oily girls, just to make sure that our blush and bronzer and everything stays in place, this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna set it and pat it in and then run it across our nose as well too. So now everything looks like this. Now we're glowy. I love blush on the tip of my nose for some reason. It just makes me feel super youthful, super healthy. You don't have to do this step or anything like that. And then I'm gonna go in with a highlighter. I'm gonna actually go in with a powder highlighter. The powder highlighter that I have been loving, another Dior product. Like I fell in love with this after doing my one brand Dior only makeup products. So this is the Dior highlighter. It is in the shade, it's so blinding. It's in the shade Gold Halo. It's shade number 2. And if you are oily and you don't want any extra glow, stop here. But nobody says that an oily girl cannot have a little bit of glow and highlight. So I'm just gonna touch just a little bit on the tops, the very, very tops of my cheekbone right here, just so that this brings life back, and it's so pretty. So, so pretty. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, like so. And then on my nose, just a touch like this. We're still a little bit glowy, a little bit luminous, but we're not oily, okay? You can still have a little bit of healthy glow in your skin. And then I'm going to target the lips. Now the lips here, you can take this several ways. First, making sure you wipe everything that was on your lip prior. A must, absolute must for everyone who's oily is a lip liner. I highly recommend investing in a lip liner. So something like a wooden one like this from Anastasia Beverly Hills, or one from Makeup by Mario. I've been loving these two. So for today, I'm gonna use the Makeup by Mario in the shade Toasty. And I really like this because of the brush. So let me just line my lip for you to see, like so. And then under my lip, I'll overline it and then just connect to my natural line, just like that. With the lip, I don't really get oily. If anything, my lip's really dry. So a lot of the lip product it does tend to stay. Just gonna blend in just a touch. I'm gonna use this lipstick. This is a lipstick from Wet n Wild that I discovered, and it was actually very good. So this is in the shade Bare It All in the Mega Last Matte Lipstick. So if you want your lipstick to last all day long, I do recommend doing this. And then I have a technique. So I'll take this lip brush for days that I want to have a long-lasting lip. I will brush this lipstick on in a very thin layer just to make sure there's a thin layer to lay it down on, and this will help stick. And then I'll go in directly with the bullet and paint this on. And because this could be very drying, so another step for you is you can put on a lip gloss at this stage. If you're not going with lip gloss, there's no like harm in that. Your lips just last a lot longer. I also like to go back in, sandwich, and blend everything in. So the goal is just to create this cohesive lip look that is mattifying. So we're at the very end. Before we go in with the setting spray, our brows. We cannot forget about our brows. So any type of brows, there's two that I'm currently on right now. There's the Express Brow by Maybelline, and then there's the Iconic London. Now these products, if you jump in the water, would they stay? I don't know. I've never done that, but I don't think they would. But what I can tell you is that they stay on all day. For me, who's extremely oily, I just really like that there's like an extra hold on my brows that feels secure and makes sure that it grips. So as an oilier girl, I like to set my brows down just to make sure that we're good to go. Like we're good from head to toe right now. Like everything is set, everything is satisfied. And then setting spray. We cannot forget about this step. Us oily girls, setting spray. So these are the two that I have. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Spray. This is the matte blur one. And then this is the Anastasia Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm. I love these two. I do like the Charlotte Tilbury just a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to be using today. But the Danessa Myrick, like, again, I know she just creates products for the oily girls. Like, that's it. Like, she's for us oily girls. So I really do enjoy her products. Another one, if you want to be super intensive, is the One Size Beauty, like the aerosol spray one. I don't have that one. I don't use that one. I know my sister uses it a lot. And it keeps you like in place. Like it's like hairspray, but for your face. For me, I just don't want to use that every day for my face unless I'm going out for a party. Unless you're going out for a party, that would be a good setting spray. So that's part of like my recommendation. But for me, this one is my girl. This is my holy grail. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray in Matte. And there are like these like metal ball in them. Balls? Ball? I don't know how many is in here. Wow. But this just means that you have to shake her up. Like the product in here needs to be shaken up. Like it's probably separating inside if you leave it too long or something. I also do a little test spray, so that like all the like that to come out before you put it on your face. So now the real deal, if your face is not drenched, you're doing it wrong. Just want to make sure. And then I'm gonna grab a fan just to dry everything off and set everything down. I'm gonna take this clip off. All right, and there you have it, everybody. This is my oily girl proof makeup that I do just for like days where I just want my makeup to stay in place. And also, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I have one more tip for you. Because you made it this far, this is like a extra surprise. This is the Carcelin pressed powder. Throw this into your bag and make sure that it has the puff in it as well too, just so that you can go through the day. And if you are oily, which this probably will keep you at bay for about 4 to 6 hours, maybe even 8, without touching up. But again, everybody's very different. Throw this in your bag, touch up when you need it, and you're good to go. So this is the final look, everybody. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Mwah.